Hi church, good afternoon, hope you are well. Just wanted to share with you something from the Word of God and a testimony of what we're doing as a church community in this time. We've been looking at the book of John, haven't we, as a church? And in John chapter 6, it talks about Jesus feeding the 5,000, an amazing miracle that Jesus did with his disciples. And it's repeated in all four of the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke and John. So it must be pretty important if it's in all four. And in the account in Matthew 14, verse 16, it says, Jesus replied, "They do not need to go away. You give them something to eat." And here the disciples had come to Jesus and said, here's a crowd, they need feeding, it's getting late. But Jesus turned it back to the disciples and said, you give them something to eat. You minister to their need. And obviously we know from the story that Jesus, in partnership with his Father, took the loaves and fishes that were brought to him by the little boy, multiplied them, and there was more than enough food to feed the crowd that was there. But it was actually the disciples who gave the food out. They took it from Jesus, they were his hands, they were his feet, they ministered to the people, gave out the baskets, and they gave the food out. They were instrumental in feeding at least 5,000 people. They fed the crowd. And in our city in this time, we face unprecedented challenge, don't we? Really difficult times for many people, and one of the big needs is for people to be fed, for people to get access to food, and we know that is such a need in this time, and we can minister to that need as a church. It's been great to hear some really good testimonies from across our church community about how we are supporting and helping those people in need. In our Zoom Connect group, we've got a person who's shielded, and another couple have been round to their house and dropped food off on their doorstep to help and support them. A great way of us blessing and supporting one another. In our community in Withington, we've been able to help an older person who can't get out to the shops, and we've dropped food on their doorstep as well. With our Homes of Hope houses, the 3 houses, I know some of us have been out to give food to the guys in our 3 houses to support them in this time. It's so important that we can be the hands and feet of Jesus and help feed our city and take the gospel into our communities. In my role as a local counsellor, I've been helping local families who are entitled to free school meals to get that help whilst they're at home, and throughout the Easter holidays get access to that finance and those vouchers that will help them to feed their families and their children. And the final story is just from our Revolution youth ministry in Wythenshawe. It's been fantastic to hear the stories and the testimonies of the families and the children and the young people we've been able to feed from the high schools in Wythenshawe. And I know many people in our church community have been out delivering food, dropping it on their doorstep and blessing people in that community. So we can help feed our city. You know, we can take the gospel and apply that from what we see when Jesus fed the 5,000 in John chapter 6. We can do that here and now in our time and take the love of God in a practical way to our city. So be blessed, stay well, and hope to see you soon. Maybe it might only virtually, but we'll be together in the near future. Be blessed. Take care. Bye-bye.